Ladies and gentlemen, life has a way of testing us, pushing us to our limits, and sometimes even breaking us down completely. But remember, every setback, every heartache, and every failure has a purpose. When life breaks you, it's not the end, it's a transformation. God uses these moments not to defeat you, but to build you stronger. Let me take you on a journey through 7 powerful points that will change the way you see your struggles. Number 1, pain prepares you for purpose. Pain is an unavoidable part of the human experience. It touches every soul at some point, breaking down walls of comfort and exposing raw vulnerability. While it can feel like an uninvited intruder, pain often serves a far deeper purpose than we initially realize. It is the chisel that shapes our character, the fire that refines our spirit, and the teacher that forces us to confront the most profound truths about ourselves and our place in the world. In this way, pain is not merely a burden to be endured, but a powerful catalyst for growth and transformation. When life hits us with unexpected hardship, it's easy to fall into despair. We question the fairness of the world, wrestle with self-doubt, and sometimes even lose faith. But history and personal stories of countless individuals remind us that some of the most inspiring human achievements emerged from the crucible of suffering. Those who have risen from the ashes of their struggles often discover a strength they never knew existed. Pain, in its most intense form, strips away the unnecessary, revealing the core of who we truly are. It pushes us to dig deeper, to question our priorities, and to find meaning in the chaos. Consider the lives of great visionaries, artists, and leaders who faced extraordinary trials. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years of imprisonment, yet emerged not with a spirit of vengeance but with a heart full of forgiveness, becoming a symbol of peace and resilience. Helen Keller, despite being both blind and deaf, went on to change the world with her words and advocacy, showing that physical limitations could not contain a determined spirit. These remarkable figures, like so many others, found their purpose not in spite of their pain, but because of it. Pain often acts as a powerful motivator. It shakes us out of complacency, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our circumstances. It demands that we change, adapt, and evolve. Without discomfort, growth would remain stagnant. Like a muscle that must tear to become stronger, our spirits also require the tension of trials to reach their full potential. Each moment of suffering, each setback, is a stepping stone toward a greater version of ourselves. Furthermore, pain has the unique ability to foster empathy and compassion. Those who have known suffering often develop a deeper understanding of the struggles of others. They are more likely to extend a helping hand, to offer words of comfort, and to stand up for those who cannot stand for themselves. In this way, pain becomes a bridge, connecting us to others in ways that comfort never could. It breeds compassion, a quality that not only enriches our relationships, but also gives our lives profound purpose. Pain also strips away illusions. It forces us to confront the fleeting nature of material success, the unpredictability of life, and the fragile nature of human connections. In these moments, we are reminded of what truly matters: love, faith, kindness, and resilience. These are the elements that give life meaning, that define our legacy, and that outlive us. Pain refocuses our priorities, guiding us back to our core values and helping us find clarity amid the chaos. Moreover, pain is often a signal, a wake-up call that something in our life needs to change. It might be a toxic relationship, an unfulfilling job, or a destructive habit. Ignoring this signal only prolongs the suffering, but embracing it can lead to profound transformation. Pain forces us to shed the layers of denial, to confront the hard truths, and to make the courageous decisions that will ultimately lead us to our purpose. Yet, as powerful as pain can be, it is our response to it that truly defines us. Pain can break you or build you, depending on how you choose to interpret it. Those who see their struggles as a path to growth, as a challenge to overcome, often emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient. They find meaning in their suffering, using it as fuel to drive them toward their goals. They transform their scars into stories of triumph and use their wounds as a source of inspiration for others. In the end, pain and purpose are inextricably linked. The trials you endure today may be the very things that prepare you for your greatest achievements tomorrow. The heartbreak you suffer now may be the foundation for the empathy that will allow you to change lives in the future. The failures you face today may be the lessons that guide you to success later. In this sense, pain is not merely a cruel twist of fate, but a divine tool, shaping you into the person you are meant to become. So, when you find yourself in the depths of despair, remember that this pain has a purpose. It is not a punishment, but a preparation. It is not a setback, but a setup for something greater. Trust the process, endure the trials, and have faith that your struggles are not in vain. You are being molded, refined, and prepared for a purpose far greater than you can imagine. Embrace the pain, for it is a sign that you are on the path to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Number 2, embrace the break to unleash your strength. Life is a journey filled with moments of joy, success, and connection, but it is also marked by trials, setbacks, and heartbreaks. It is during these darker seasons that our true character is forged, our strength tested, and our resilience revealed. When life breaks you, it often feels like the end, as if the very foundation of your existence has been shattered. But what if I told you that these breaks are not the end, but the beginning of something profoundly transformative? What if the very moments that crack you open are the ones that allow you to unleash a strength you never knew you had? Embracing the break means accepting that pain and adversity are inevitable parts of the human experience. It is a mindset shift from resisting the trials we face to welcoming them as opportunities for growth. This might sound counterintuitive, as our natural instinct is to avoid discomfort and pain. However, if we can learn to embrace the break, we unlock the potential for profound transformation. Just as a seed must break open before it can grow into a towering tree, we too must endure moments of breaking to reach our fullest potential. The breaks in life often come unexpectedly. They might arrive as a devastating loss, a betrayal, a failed relationship, or a career setback. In these moments, it is easy to feel like a fragile piece of glass shattered on the floor, each fragment reflecting our broken hopes and dreams. But within those broken pieces lies the potential for a beautiful mosaic. If we can gather the courage to pick up those pieces, to accept the pain and learn from it, we can create something even more beautiful than what existed before. One of the most profound lessons that comes from embracing the break is that it strips away our illusions of control. We often move through life believing that we can control every outcome, that we can avoid heartbreak if we plan well enough, or that we can escape failure if we work hard enough. But life has a way of humbling us, reminding us that control is often an illusion. When we are broken, we are forced to confront this reality, to let go of our need for certainty, and to surrender to the unknown. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of immense courage. It is in this surrender that we discover a deeper, more resilient strength. Another powerful outcome of embracing the break is the clarity it brings. Pain has a way of stripping away the superficial, revealing what truly matters. It forces us to reevaluate our priorities, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to focus on the core of who we are. In this clarity, we find purpose. Many of the world's most impactful leaders and creators discovered their purpose in the aftermath of their greatest breaks. They used their pain as a catalyst for change, transforming their wounds into wisdom and their scars into stories of hope. Embracing the break also cultivates empathy. When you have been broken, you understand what it means to suffer, to struggle, and to feel lost. This understanding breeds compassion, making you more attuned to the pain of others. It allows you to connect on a deeper level, to be a source of comfort for those going through their own dark seasons. In this way, your break not only strengthens you, but also empowers you to lift others. Moreover, the process of breaking and rebuilding builds resilience. It teaches you that no matter how many times you fall, you have the power to rise again. Each break makes you stronger, more adaptable, and more courageous. It is the same principle that makes a bone stronger after it heals from a fracture. The very act of breaking forces you to push past your limits, to confront your fears, and to grow in ways you never thought possible. But perhaps most importantly, embracing the break leads to self-discovery. In the silence that follows a personal catastrophe, when the distractions are stripped away and you are left alone with your thoughts, you are forced to confront your true self. You come face to face with your fears, your dreams, and your untapped potential. This self-awareness is a powerful gift, one that can guide you as you rebuild your life and pursue your purpose with renewed clarity. Of course, embracing the break is not easy. It requires a willingness to confront painful truths, to face your own weaknesses, and to let go of the past. It demands courage and perseverance, and there will be days when the weight of your brokenness feels unbearable. But remember, it is often in the darkest hours that our light shines the brightest. It is in the breaking that the seeds of greatness are planted. So, the next time life breaks you, do not despair. Do not shrink from the pain or try to run from it. Instead, embrace it. Lean into the discomfort, knowing that each crack, each fracture, and each tear is making room for something greater. Trust that this break is not your end but your beginning. You are being molded, refined, and prepared for something extraordinary. Remember, the most beautiful stories often rise from the ashes of broken dreams. The strongest warriors are those who have faced the fiercest battles. The brightest lights shine through the deepest darkness. Embrace the break, unleash your strength, and watch as you rise from the ruins stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. Number 3, faith transforms fear. Fear is one of the most powerful and universal emotions we experience as human beings. It can paralyze us, rob us of our peace, and hold us back from living our fullest lives. It whispers to us in the quiet moments, reminding us of our limitations, our past mistakes, and the uncertainties of the future. Fear can make even the strongest hearts tremble and the brightest minds doubt. It is a natural response to the unknown, to danger, and to the possibility of failure. However, there is an equally powerful force that can conquer this crippling emotion, a force that can transform our deepest fears into courage, resilience, and hope. That force is faith. Faith is not merely the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward in spite of it. It is the unwavering belief that there is something greater than your fears, something more powerful than your doubts. Faith is the quiet voice that tells you to keep going when everything around you is falling apart. It is the anchor that holds you steady in the storm and the light that guides you through the darkness. Unlike fear, which feeds on uncertainty, faith thrives in it. It is born in those moments when logic fails, when all signs point to despair, yet you choose to believe anyway. When you live a life rooted in faith, you begin to see fear for what it truly is, a shadow, a phantom that only has power if you allow it. Faith, on the other hand, is like a flame that cuts through the fog of doubt, revealing a path forward. It gives you the courage to take risks, to dream big, and to push past the boundaries of your comfort zone. It whispers that you are capable, that you are not alone, and that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Faith transforms fear by shifting your focus. Fear is often rooted in the unknown, in worrying about what might happen or what you might lose. It thrives on worst-case scenarios and magnifies every potential obstacle. But faith shifts your perspective. It encourages you to look beyond your immediate circumstances, to trust in a higher purpose, and to believe that even in the darkest of times, there is a plan at work. When you have faith, you are not blind to the challenges you face, but you choose to believe that there is a way through them. Consider the stories of those who have faced seemingly insurmountable odds yet triumphed because of their faith. Think of Nelson Mandela, who endured decades of imprisonment but never lost his faith in the power of justice and reconciliation. Think of Mother Teresa, who faced overwhelming poverty and suffering yet remained steadfast in her mission to serve the poorest of the poor. These individuals were not without fear, but their faith transformed that fear into a driving force for change. Faith also has the power to reshape your identity. Fear tells you that you are weak, that you are not enough, that you will never succeed. It constantly reminds you of your past failures and shortcomings, but faith calls you to a higher identity. It declares that you are strong, that you have purpose, and that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle. It speaks to your potential, not your past, and calls you to rise above your circumstances. Moreover, faith creates resilience. It is what allows you to stand back up after every fall, to keep moving forward when others would have given up. It gives you the strength to endure, to persevere, and to keep hoping even when the odds are against you. Faith teaches you that setbacks are not final, that failure is not fatal, and that every difficulty is a stepping stone on the path to your destiny. Faith also transforms fear by creating a sense of peace. When you truly believe that you are part of a greater plan, that your struggles have meaning, and that you are never truly alone, fear loses its grip. You begin to walk with confidence, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust in the one who does. This peace is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of assurance, the calm in the midst of the storm. Furthermore, faith empowers you to take action. Fear often paralyzes, convincing you that the risk is too great or that you are bound to fail. But faith inspires you to step out, to take that leap, to try again even when you have every reason to quit. It gives you the courage to pursue your dreams, to stand up for what you believe in, and to live a life without regret. Finally, faith transforms fear by building a legacy. When you act out of faith rather than fear, you create a ripple effect that touches the lives of others. Your courage inspires those around you, your resilience gives hope to the hopeless, and your unwavering belief in the face of adversity becomes a powerful testimony. In this way, your faith not only transforms your own life, but also leaves a lasting impact on the world. So, as you face the challenges of life, remember that fear is not the final word. It is a temporary obstacle, a shadow that cannot stand against the light of faith. Choose to believe even when it seems impossible, to hope even when all seems lost, and to stand firm even when the winds of doubt rage around you. Let faith be your guide, your strength, and your constant companion on this journey of life. In the end, you will find that the battles you face today, the fears you conquer, and the mountains you climb will not only transform you, but also reveal the incredible power of faith to overcome any obstacle. Embrace that power and you will live a life that rises above fear, a life of purpose, courage, and unshakable confidence. Number 4, finding wisdom in the wreckage. Life has a way of shattering our plans, breaking our hearts, and throwing us into chaos when we least expect it. In these moments of destruction, when everything we thought was secure crumbles around us, it is easy to lose hope. We look at the wreckage of our dreams, our relationships, or our careers, and wonder if anything good can ever come from such devastation. But history, both personal and collective, has shown us time and again that some of the most profound insights and the deepest wisdom emerge not in times of comfort, but in the midst of turmoil and brokenness. It is in the wreckage that we often find the lessons that truly define us, that mold our character, and that prepare us for a brighter, more meaningful future. Finding wisdom in the wreckage requires a profound shift in perspective. It means looking at your shattered pieces not as a final defeat, but as the raw material for transformation. Just as a sculptor sees potential in a rough block of marble, or a potter finds beauty in a lump of clay, we too must learn to see the possibilities hidden within our pain. It is not about ignoring the hurt or denying the loss, but about finding meaning in it. It is about realizing that every failure, every heartbreak, and every disappointment carries within it the seeds of growth. One of the first lessons that often emerges from the wreckage is humility. When life humbles us, it strips away our illusions of control, reminding us that we are not as invincible as we might have believed. This can be a painful realization, but it is also a powerful one. It teaches us to let go of our need for control, to embrace the uncertainty of life, and to trust in the process of becoming. In our brokenness, we come face to face with our vulnerabilities, And this awareness can open our hearts to deeper connections, both with ourselves and with others. Moreover, the wreckage often forces us to confront our true values. When life as we know it falls apart, we are given the opportunity to reassess what truly matters. The loss of a job, for instance, can reveal that our true passion lies elsewhere. The end of a relationship might teach us what we truly need from a partner, or even more importantly, what we need from ourselves. In these moments, we are stripped of the superficial, the distractions, and the noise, and what remains is the core of who we are. This clarity is a priceless gift, a compass that can guide us as we rebuild our lives. Another critical piece of wisdom found in the wreckage is resilience. It is only when we are broken that we truly understand our capacity to endure, to overcome, and to rise again. Just like a muscle that grows stronger with resistance, our spirits are fortified by the trials we survive. Every setback, every fall, and every disappointment strengthens our resolve and builds our character. It is through this process that we discover the depths of our strength, the power of our perseverance, and the unbreakable nature of our spirit. In the wreckage, we also learn the importance of letting go. So much of our suffering comes not from the actual loss, but from our unwillingness to release what no longer serves us. We cling to old dreams, outdated identities, and broken relationships out of fear, comfort, or habit. But true wisdom lies in the ability to release these attachments, to clear the space for new growth, and to welcome the unknown with open arms. It is only when we let go that we create room for new possibilities, for fresh beginnings, and for the unexpected blessings that life has to offer. Additionally, the wreckage teaches us empathy. When you have known deep pain, you develop a greater capacity for compassion. You become more attuned to the struggles of others, more willing to offer a helping hand, and more patient with those who are fighting their own silent battles. This empathy not only enriches your relationships, but also gives your life a profound sense of purpose. It reminds you that your wounds can be a source of healing for others, that your scars can be a testament to the power of survival. Finding wisdom in the wreckage also means embracing the lessons of failure. So often, we are taught to fear failure, to avoid it at all costs, and to see it as a mark of shame. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is a crucial part of the journey. Every mistake, every wrong turn, and every closed door carries within it a lesson, a piece of the puzzle that is your growth. When you shift your mindset to see failure as a teacher, you liberate yourself from the fear of falling and instead become focused on the lessons each experience has to offer. Finally, the wreckage can teach us gratitude. It might seem strange to speak of gratitude in the context of loss and pain, but those who have walked through the fire often emerge with a deeper appreciation for life. They learn to cherish the small moments, to find joy in the present, and to recognize the beauty in the simple act of being alive. They understand, perhaps better than most, that life is fragile, unpredictable, and precious, and this awareness transforms the way they move through the world. In the end, finding wisdom in the wreckage is not about denying your pain, but about transcending it. It is about seeing the potential for growth in every challenge, the opportunity for transformation in every setback, and the promise of a brighter tomorrow, even in the darkest of nights. It is about choosing to rise, to rebuild, and to create beauty from the broken pieces of your life. So, the next time you find yourself standing in the ruins of your dreams, take a deep breath and remember that you are not alone. You have the power to rise from the ashes, to transform your wounds into wisdom, and to create a life that is not just restored, but renewed and reimagined. Embrace the wreckage, for within it lies the wisdom that will guide you to your greatest strength and your truest self. Number 5. Redefine your story with resilience. Life has a way of challenging us, pushing us to our limits, and testing our strength in ways we never imagined. At some point, we all face moments when our dreams crumble, our plans fall apart, and the path we thought we would walk disappears into chaos. In these moments, it can feel like the story of our lives is being rewritten without our consent, like we are losing control over the narrative. But what if, instead of resisting this change, we chose to embrace it? What if we decided to redefine our story, not as one marked by failure or loss, but as one defined by resilience, courage, and growth? Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep moving forward even when life knocks you down. It is the strength to rise from the ashes, to rebuild after destruction, and to find light in the darkest of times. It is not about pretending that everything is fine or ignoring the pain of your struggles, but about facing those challenges head on, learning from them, and using them as fuel for your future. Resilience is the quiet power that whispers, "This is not the end of your story." Redefining your story with resilience starts with a mindset shift. It means letting go of the victim mentality, the belief that life is simply happening to you, and instead recognizing that you have the power to shape your own narrative. You are not merely a character in the story of your life, you are the author. This realization is both freeing and empowering. It means that, no matter what you have been through, you still have the power to decide how your story unfolds from this moment forward. One of the first steps in this process is to accept that setbacks and failures are a natural part of life. They are not signs of weakness or proof of your unworthiness, but rather opportunities for growth and learning. When you embrace this perspective, you begin to see each challenge not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone. You understand that every mistake, every loss, and every disappointment is a part of the larger story of your growth. It is through these experiences that you build the strength to overcome future obstacles and develop the resilience needed to thrive. Resilience also requires the ability to let go of the past. Too often, we cling to old versions of ourselves, outdated dreams, or painful memories, believing that they define who we are. But to truly redefine your story, you must be willing to release these attachments. You must make peace with your past, forgive yourself for your mistakes, and let go of the things you cannot change. This process can be incredibly difficult, but it is also deeply liberating. It frees you to move forward without the weight of regret or self-doubt holding you back. In redefining your story, it is also essential to rewrite the internal dialogue you have with yourself. The way you speak to yourself, the thoughts you entertain, and the beliefs you hold about your abilities have a profound impact on your resilience. If you constantly tell yourself that you are a failure, that you are not good enough, or that you will never succeed, those thoughts will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you choose to believe in your strength, to remind yourself of the battles you have already overcome, and to speak words of encouragement and hope, you will find the resilience to push through even the toughest times. Another key element of resilience is the ability to find meaning in your struggles. This does not mean that every hardship has a clear or immediate purpose, but rather that you can choose to find value in your experiences. You can choose to see your struggles as opportunities for growth, as tests that are preparing you for something greater. This mindset shift can transform the way you view your challenges, turning even the darkest chapters of your life into powerful lessons and sources of strength. Resilience also involves building a support network. No one achieves greatness alone, and no one overcomes adversity in isolation. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who lift you up, and who remind you of your potential when you start to doubt yourself. These relationships will be your anchor in the storms of life, providing you with the support and encouragement you need to keep moving forward. Moreover, redefining your story with resilience means being willing to take risks and to fail. It means stepping outside of your comfort zone, pursuing your dreams even when the odds are against you, and refusing to let fear dictate your decisions. It means choosing courage over comfort, determination over despair, and action over stagnation. This bold approach to life is what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. Finally, resilience is about perseverance. It is about getting back up every time you fall, about continuing to fight for your dreams even when the path is unclear, and about never losing sight of the future you want to create. It is about believing in yourself when no one else does and pushing forward even when every part of you wants to give up. This relentless pursuit of growth and success is what ultimately redefines your story and transforms your struggles into triumphs. In the end, redefining your story with resilience is not about avoiding pain or hardship, but about using those experiences as stepping stones to a better, stronger, and more fulfilling life. It is about taking ownership of your narrative, refusing to be defined by your setbacks, and choosing to rise above your circumstances. It is about believing in your power to change, to grow, and to become the person you were always meant to be. So, when life knocks you down, when your dreams fall apart, and when you find yourself standing in the rubble of your past, remember that this is not the end. It is a new beginning, a fresh page, and a chance to redefine your story. Stand tall, embrace your resilience, and write a narrative of strength, courage, and unwavering determination. For in the end, it is not the battles you avoid, but the ones you overcome that truly define who you are. Number 6. Turning scars into strength. Scars are often seen as reminders of our pain, physical evidence of the battles we have faced, and the struggles we have endured. They tell the story of our wounds, both visible and invisible, and carry the memories of the times we were broken, beaten, or bruised by life. For many, scars are symbols of vulnerability and loss, reminders of moments we would rather forget. But what if we chose to see them differently? What if, instead of viewing our scars as permanent marks of weakness, we embrace them as powerful symbols of strength, resilience, and survival? Turning scars into strength is about transforming the narrative of our lives. It means refusing to be defined by our pain, our failures, or our mistakes, and instead choosing to rise above them. It is about recognizing that every scar, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, is a testament to our ability to overcome, to endure, and to heal. It is about finding the power in our past, the courage in our struggles, and the wisdom in our wounds. The first step in turning scars into strength is acceptance. It means acknowledging that we have been hurt, that we have faced challenges, and that we carry the marks of those experiences. Denying our scars or trying to hide them only deepens our pain, trapping us in a cycle of shame and self-doubt. But when we choose to accept our scars, we take the first step toward healing. We admit that we have been broken, but we also recognize that we are still standing, still breathing, and still moving forward. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It is not about giving up or settling for a life defined by pain. Instead, it is about owning your story, embracing your past, and refusing to be defined by your wounds. It is about saying, yes, I have been hurt, but I have also survived. I have fallen, but I have risen again. This mindset shift is powerful because it transforms your scars from symbols of defeat into badges of honor, reminders of the strength it took to keep going. Once you have accepted your scars, the next step is to find meaning in them. Pain without purpose can feel overwhelming and pointless, but when you choose to see your scars as part of a greater story, they become a source of strength. They remind you of the battles you have already won, the challenges you have overcome, and the lessons you have learned. They become proof that you have what it takes to survive, to adapt, and to thrive in the face of adversity. Turning scars into strength also requires a willingness to let go of shame. Too often, we allow our past mistakes or failures to define us, carrying the weight of regret like a heavy burden. But true strength comes from forgiving yourself, from letting go of the past, and from choosing to move forward without the chains of guilt or self-doubt. It means refusing to be a prisoner of your past and instead embracing the freedom to create a brighter, bolder, and more fulfilling future. Another critical part of this transformation is resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from hardship, to keep moving forward even when life knocks you down. It is the strength to rise from the ashes, to rebuild after destruction, and to find hope even in the darkest of times. When you turn your scars into strength, you become resilient. You become someone who can face any challenge, weather any storm, and rise again no matter how many times you fall. This resilience often comes from a deep sense of purpose. When you have a reason to keep going, a goal to strive for, or a dream to pursue, your scars become fuel for your journey. They remind you of your capacity to endure, to overcome, and to push through even the toughest of times. They become a source of motivation, a reminder that you have already survived worse, and that you have the strength to keep moving forward. Turning your scars into strength also means finding the courage to share your story. It means being vulnerable enough to admit that you have struggled, that you have fallen, and that you have scars to show for it. This openness not only helps you heal, but it also empowers others who are walking through their own dark valleys. It reminds them that they are not alone, that they too can rise from their struggles, and that their scars do not define them. Moreover, embracing your scars allows you to develop a deeper sense of empathy. When you have known pain, you become more compassionate, more understanding, and more willing to extend a helping hand to others. Your scars become a bridge, connecting you to those who are suffering and allowing you to offer support, encouragement, and hope. They transform your pain into a powerful force for good, a source of light in a world often filled with darkness. Finally, turning scars into strength means celebrating your survival. It means recognizing that every scar is a symbol of your strength, a testament to your resilience, and a reminder of your ability to overcome. It means choosing to focus not on the wounds you have suffered, but on the warrior you have become. It is about standing tall, proud of the battles you have fought, and confident in your ability to face whatever challenges lie ahead. In the end, our scars are not signs of weakness, but powerful reminders of our strength. They are the marks of our survival, the evidence of our courage, and the symbols of our resilience. They tell the story of our struggles, but they also speak of our triumphs. They are proof that we have faced the darkness and emerged stronger, wiser, and more courageous. So, the next time you look at your scars, remember that they are not just reminders of your pain, but powerful symbols of your strength. Embrace them, learn from them, and use them as fuel for your journey. For in the end, it is not the wounds we suffer, but the strength we find in their aftermath that truly defines who we are. Number 7, hope amidst the hardships. Life is not always a smooth journey. It is often filled with unexpected turns, daunting obstacles, and moments of deep despair. There are times when everything seems to be falling apart, when the weight of your struggles feels unbearable, and when the future appears uncertain and bleak. Yet even in the darkest of times, there is a light that refuses to be extinguished, a quiet force that whispers to us to keep going. That force is hope. Hope is a powerful thing. It is the belief that better days are possible, even when the present is filled with pain and confusion. It is the small voice that tells you not to give up, the glimmer of light that cuts through the shadows of doubt, and the fuel that keeps you moving forward when everything else is pushing you back. Hope is not the absence of hardship, but the decision to believe that something better lies on the other side of your struggles. In the midst of hardship, hope can feel elusive. It can be difficult to find when you are overwhelmed by loss, disappointment, or failure. When the world seems to be closing in around you, hope can feel like a distant dream, a luxury you can no longer afford. But the truth is, hope is not just for the easy days. It is not something you find only when life is going well. True hope is forged in the fires of adversity, shaped by the very struggles that threaten to break you. It is born not in comfort, but in challenge. One of the reasons hope is so powerful is that it changes the way you view your circumstances. When you have hope, you see your struggles not as permanent defeats, but as temporary challenges. You begin to understand that every storm, no matter how fierce, eventually passes. You come to believe that your pain has a purpose, that your setbacks are setups for comebacks, and that your trials are tests that will one day become your testimony. This shift in perspective can make all the difference. It transforms your mindset from one of despair to one of determination, from one of fear to one of faith. Hope also gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead is uncertain. It is what allows you to take that next step, to keep trying, and to hold on even when you feel like letting go. It fuels your resilience, your courage, and your resolve. Without hope, even the smallest obstacles can feel insurmountable. but with it, you find the power to overcome even the greatest of challenges. Moreover, hope connects you to a sense of purpose. It reminds you that your life has meaning, that your struggles are not in vain, and that your journey is part of a greater story. This sense of purpose gives you a reason to keep going, even when the path is difficult. It helps you rise above your circumstances and find the strength to keep pushing forward, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Hope is also a powerful antidote to fear. Fear thrives in darkness, feeding on uncertainty and doubt. But hope is a light that cuts through that darkness, reminding you that there is still a way forward, that you are not alone, and that better days are possible. It gives you the courage to face your fears, to confront the unknown, and to push through even the toughest of times. Importantly, hope also has the power to heal. It can mend a broken heart, restore a shattered spirit, and breathe life into a weary soul. It has the ability to lift you out of despair, to restore your faith in yourself, and to reignite the fire of your dreams. Hope is a reminder that you are capable of overcoming your challenges, that you have the strength to rise above your circumstances, and that you are more resilient than you realize. Hope is not just an emotion, it is a choice. It is a decision to believe in a brighter future, even when the present is filled with pain. It is a commitment to keep moving forward, even when every part of you wants to give up. It is the resolve to rise, to fight, and to keep pushing through the darkness, knowing that light is just around the corner. In the hardest of times, hope can be a lifeline. It can be the single thread that holds you together when everything else is falling apart. It can be the spark that reignites your passion, the fuel that powers your perseverance, and the light that guides you through the darkest of nights. It is a reminder that no matter how deep the valley, no matter how fierce the storm, you have the strength to overcome. But perhaps the greatest power of hope is its ability to transform your story. It turns victims into survivors, wounds into wisdom, and scars into strength. It takes your pain and turns it into purpose, your trials into triumphs, and your setbacks into stepping stones for success. It reminds you that your past does not define you, that your failures do not define you, and that your struggles do not define you. So, as you face the hardships of life, remember that hope is always within reach. It may be small, it may be quiet, but it is there, waiting for you to embrace it. Hold on to it, nurture it, and let it guide you through the storms of life. For in the end, it is not the absence of hardship that defines us, but our ability to rise above it, to find light in the darkness, and to hold on to hope even when all seems lost. And as you continue your journey, never forget that hope is not just a feeling, but a powerful force for change. It is the spark that ignites your resilience, the fire that fuels your courage, and the light that leads you toward a brighter tomorrow. So keep hoping, keep believing, and keep fighting, for no matter how great the struggle, hope will always carry you through. When life breaks you, remember that God is crafting a stronger version of you. The pain you feel today is the power you will gain tomorrow. Trust the process, embrace the struggle, and keep faith alive. You are not defeated. You are being prepared for something greater. Stay resilient, stay hopeful, and let God build you stronger than ever before. Thank you.